you, Doctor. I'd like to invite onto stage the rest of the panel. We've got we've got Maulana Ahmed Namutamba. He works with Ashraful Aid. He is responsible for monitoring and evaluation, and he's also involved in several special projects for Ashraful Aid, including disaster relief, agriculture, and social development projects. Join us, Maulana. And we've also got Doctor's friend, Mushtaq Chapra, who is a Pakistani industrialist, philanthropist, and diplomat. He's the founder of the Citizens Foundation, the Patients Aid Foundation, and the Kidney Center. And he's the chairman to a group of companies under the Chapra Group. Please join us on stage. I think questions that we've got. I think, Doctor, for you, can we start off by asking you, what are some of the key challenges that are associated with entrepreneurship in poverty-stricken areas, particularly where there is perhaps access to funding, as you've mentioned around microfinance? What are the other challenges that you found the entrepreneurs experience?
Yeah, thank you very much. Entrepreneurs are not a rare commodity. People say that entrepreneurs are very rare. No. Everybody takes risk in his or her life. So who is an entrepreneur? Who takes risks? Everybody contributes for the welfare of humanity. So who is entrepreneur? Entrepreneur creates value. Everybody wants to do a business and gathers money and resources. Who is entrepreneur? He gathers resources, he envisions, he creates an organization, he starts a business, and then he earns money. So entrepreneurs are not a rare commodity. Basic deficit, basic, issue faced by entrepreneurs is they lack capital. And if capital is provided to them, they are experienced enough, they are wise enough, they are skilled enough, they are honest enough, they are good managers, believe you me. A lady starting a grocery store and earning $1,000 a month. She never went to school. But God has bestowed her with a lot of wisdom and street wisdom. So we can provide a little bit of qualification, training, capacity building. But there are plenty of, yes, you have to find those entrepreneurs. You have to give them the courage and bring them within your fold. So this word is beautiful because of entrepreneurs. As entrepreneur is not a person who invests millions and millions. Entrepreneur, for me, the definition of entrepreneur is anybody who creates value. Anybody who makes life worth living. Anybody who makes life easy. Anybody who gives comfort through business. If you start a grocery store, you are adding value because you are serving so many people. You are giving them good quality food, good quality material. So if you are honest enough in your business, you are giving services. Earning and money, those become byproducts. Entrepreneur doesn't start a business solely for the objective of minting money. His mind is to make this society a better society, to create value, to create comfort. Yes, if you do all these things, you will get money. This is the promise of God.
Thank you, Doctor. For Brother Mushtaq, can we ask you, how do we scale entrepreneurship initiatives so that we can reach more people?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Very good morning and assalamu alaikum everybody. First of all, in a society, when you work, I think the purity of intent is the most important factor. I think that when you start an initiative, whether it may be a microfinance or maybe an educational institution or poverty alleviation, development of human resources, your intent has to be to do good, and that purity really takes a front seat. Then comes the belief in the people you're working for. You see, normally if you have the Western philosophy, it starts from a negative connotation. You know, they've got all sorts of documentation which negate that partnership. You know, you charge them like Dr. Amjad said, take away the dignity of a human by making all sorts of documentation, collaterals, and charging them exorbitant interest rates. Here, you've seen the proof that 6 million or 6.5 million families getting a loan, sitting in a temple or a mosque, automatically gives them a comfort level. And this is where I feel the most important element, that when you have faith in your as a partnership, that there is no stopping that faith, and there is no that developing into an organization with a partnership. And like he said, that this is just barely 20 years, and you can't reach 6 million people in 20 years without that kind of a I think that is very important to progress or to develop a organization and the partnership. There is no end to it, you know. So please, this is my humble suggestion, that sit down, believe in the person you're giving, whatever you're giving, whether you're giving your time or your energy or money, that this person is a good person. It will go a long way. Don't see the consequences, and that is going to take that organization, that work, to levels you have not even imagined.
Thank you. And Molana Ahmed, I know at Ashraful Aid we do have a microfinance leg that we are looking to build out some more. And the challenge has been laid down by Dr. Amjad for us to increase and scale up in terms of that fund. But in terms of the micro loans that we've done within Ashraful Aid, can you share some examples of entrepreneurs who have come out of poverty from Ashraful Aid or have been assisted by Ashraful Aid?
I think we at Ashraful Aid, with that question in mind, just to contextualize it a bit for the people as well to understand where we're coming from. As Ashraful Aid has gone global as well, so we have undertaken the global challenges, and one of the challenges it is this poverty alleviation. To contextualize it more in the South African context and African context as well, if you look at Africa, those who are economically active and people who are supposed to be taking part in the economic sector of our society are mostly the youth. And secondly, we find generally in Africa about 25% to 33% of the population that is supposed to be employed, which is a traditional way of income generating of our people. those people unemployed. So that is where I think Maulana Suhail as well and Dr. Sape as well have highlighted how this diffusion of ideas came about, that we came up with this fund that we have implemented in Ashraful Aid. Since we started last year, we have assisted about 36 people, between 34 and 36 people that have gone onto this program. And alhamdulillah, we can say, comfortably say that I think 95%, Dr. Saab, of those people that are that have taken those loans are paying back those loans. And some of them were life-changing experiences. And also to look at the challenges that we face. If you look at some of the people that saw the advert that Ashraful Aid put out there, they thought that it was a scam. To say that we're giving loans and there's no interest, it's interest-free. So we need to have a paradigm shift as well to the recipients who are receiving those loans, to actually educate them as far as how this works, and also capacity building within those people as well, for them to understand how to run a business, and as well as to, what can I say, to educate our youth. I think to the minister as well, Minister of Social Development, especially with our colleagues that are in Parliament, it is very important as well to see to it that entrepreneurship takes center stage in our education system. I don't know, maybe that's why Malema is saying, the EFF are saying that we need to actually decolonize our education, in the sense that we need to sensitize our communities to understand that we don't only generate income, or what can I say, that we have these institutions of learning in such a way that those people, after completing, they look for jobs. They are there as well to start up something and become as problem solvers of our communities. So this is our journey as Ashraful Aid. And this program, inshallah, we started it in South Africa. And within those areas that we are operating in Africa and globally as well, we're looking forward, inshallah, to implement this as well.
Thanks, Molana. I want to also open up the floor in terms of any questions that anybody might have. If there are any questions, please reach out and we'll get a mic to you.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you so much for that wonderful presentation. Sometime during the year, I did spend some time in Pakistan with the foundation called GEAR to learn a bit more about the whole microfinance. What the challenge we find is that some of the aspects of this program, which is working very well in Asia, we are finding some challenges in adapting that program for Africa. I would humbly ask our panelists out there to give this a bit of attention as to how we can tweak this program to make it more workable for us here in Africa. So microfinance is the future. Alhamdulillah, we can see the barakah, we can see the goodness in it. There is future in it, but it is still a very new concept for Africa itself. And I hope that you can shed some light on this, inshallah. Barakallahu feek.
So thank you very much for asking a very critical and important question. You know, there are three things which are extremely critical for the success of a microfinance program, especially the microfinance which we do. This has nothing to do with the conventional. They have different, principles. For a Qarz-e-Hasan program, for an interest-free microfinance program, you need three things, most important. Number one, the people who are willing to give so that you can create a pool of money. Number two, the economically active, dignified people who are not beggars, who want to take this money, start a business, and return that. So these are the two. Third is, you need an institution which will become a bridge between these two. And that institution is extremely important. It must have a very clear vision. it must have very clear goals and objectives, and it must have a very defined set of values. Why they are doing this? Is it business for them? Is it responsibility? It is seeking the pleasure of Allah. It is trying to bring this world a better place to live in. So these are the three most important things. People who believe in giving, they will give you the money. This institution become the custodian of that money with complete accountability, and then finding good people and making them donors. So these are the three fundamental things. Of course, there are many other things: leadership, managerial skills, technology, and appetite for growth, systems, procedures, manuals, all these things. Then larger environment, stakeholders, government rules, regulations, political stability, economic situation. So microfinance doesn't work in isolation. So you will have to, as an institution, you will have to find good human resource, good leadership, good governance model, good board of directors, good succession plan. This is nothing simple. This is just like building Grindlays Bank or Citibank or anything, any big institution. But with compassion, with principles, with values, with love for the poor. It makes it more difficult. You're not in the business of earning money. You're in the business of earning pleasure of Allah. So these three things, people, and wherever these three things are available, Qarz-e-Hasan program like Akhuwat or the Qarz-e-Hasan program like Ashraful Aid would be successful. Because it hinges on these things. People giving money to constitute the revolving fund, then people managing that money in a very, very, professional way, and then distributing and making those borrowers so responsible that they give back. Because it depends, if it is turned into charity or beggary, it will not come back. So you have to create a mechanism. There are many creative and innovative ideas. For example, we used mosque. It reduced the cost. Who stops you to serve a poor people while sitting in a mosque? Mosque was used as a center of education and all those things by Holy Prophet, peace be upon him. And the biggest, criticism came to us: why are you sitting in the mosque? What mosque is meant for? So you have to fight. People sometimes objected that non-Muslims cannot come to the mosque. We gave them the example that Holy Prophet received foreign delegations in the mosque. So these are some issues. But obviously, if you are conscious of your tradition, your history, your culture, your civilization, absolutely correct was Honorable Deputy Minister, that we need to create a new civilization. Civilization of humanity, civilization of sacrifice, civilization of reciprocity, civilization of realizing why God has created us and sent to this world, why God has given me more money than a poor person. There is a reason behind this. He is also in a test, and I'm also in a test. So, creating a new paradigm, creating a world which doesn't believe in or indulges in sooth or riba. It's a difficult thing. But obviously, once you start, you will find the answers. Because it's the sunnah of God that if you walk his path, he will make that path easy. Thank
I know we're running a bit over, so in the interest of time, there's 4 questions that I've raised. So if I can just take 1, 2, and then we'll take the next day after. And then There'll obviously be an opportunity to interact with the guests during the break.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Ishaq from Johannesburg. My question is directed to. Am I audible? I was saying my name is Ishaq from Johannesburg. My question is directed to you, Dr. Mohammed. I'm going to be very brief in the interest of time. I would have loved though to lay a proper basis for my question in the context of the challenges we are facing in the continent. My question to you in the context of Mawakhat, particularly in the South African context and in Africa, where there is a high level of unemployment and poverty, how do we construct further this concept of Mawakhat in a manner that encourages development and independence, particularly amongst the recipient of aid? Because the problem that we are facing is that the more we give aid, is the more the recipient of aid are not taking steps to get out of poverty. How do we do this in a dignified manner, but more in a developmental manner, that we put achievable milestone to say, with these time frames, we want to see these people out of the critical stages of poverty that they find themselves in.
Thank you very much, brother. I have given you a very simple solution. Either you open a school and fund that school and pay the fees of the poor people, or you open a hospital and provide medicines and provide all medical care free of cost, or you dig a well and give good quality water, or you start building homes for the poor people. So everything is good thing. Or you start feeding hungry people that come in the night and have a good food, good deeds. But these are charity. These will create dependency. Development is not dependency. So the solution which we are proposing is that instead of giving these 4, 5, 6 things to the people, give them some money so that they can start a business, and then if you are able to make them a good business person who earns his money by the income which he or she will get from the business, he will send his children to school. He can get education. He will buy medicine. He will buy his home. He will buy his food. So I'm not giving you 5 solutions. I'm giving you just one solution, that adopt a family, make him a friend, and say that I'm for you. But I will not give you charity. I will not give you, anything in doles. You tell me what can you do. If you can do a business, I will give you skill. I will give you my experience. I will give you money. I will monitor you. And you will give that money back to me, because that money, I will not take that money and put again in my pocket. I will have to give that money to somebody else. So I'm the initiator of a virtuous cycle. I will give you money, you will give it back. I will give it to somebody else, he will give back. I will give to somebody else, I give back. Maybe in 10 years, I'm able to sustain 10 families. This is developmental approach. On the contrary, you can adopt and feed 100 families every day. But what would happen once you will not be able to do that? So our religion and every good faith in the world that believes in dignity, that doesn't believe in, begging. Of course, there are people who can't do business, disabled, who cannot see, the elderly, the widows. We should give them grants and shouldn't get back. But economically active people who can earn money, why are we, taking them out of the economic struggle? So my answer is that charity is not the solution. Development is the solution. Dignity is the solution. And I congratulate Ashraful Aid that they have understood this, and besides other humanitarian initiatives, they are focusing on it. And we would like to extend our support to them. Together we can go to every country in Africa. We can offer these simple solutions. There may be few God-fearing people in your country. It is just the matter of starting. As I mentioned you, I had just $100 in my pocket, which we gave to a woman who was widow. She purchased two sewing machines and returned those $100 after 6 months. And she gave me an advice. She said that don't put this $100 back in your pocket. Give it to somebody else. He will be as successful as I am. So just starting by $100, if an ordinary person, a most humble person like me can reach, of course with the support of friends, mentors like Mushtaq Chapra and many others like him, we have reached 1 billion US dollar. So why can't Africa? I started my talk that you are for me a beacon of light. You fought against apartheid. You fought against discrimination. You told this world that persistence and belief and truthfulness and integrity are the ultimate conqueror of this world.
Can we take the three questions at the same time?
Yeah.
And we'll.
I was very interested in the fact that you do provide capacity building to the people that get these loans. I would like to know what marketing assistance you give them when they start their business. And if you have so many people that are on your database, are you using the database so that there can be cooperation between all of those entrepreneurs who are involved in different business opportunities? The second question is that my department pays over 10 million children a child grant till they reach the age of 18. After the age of 18, is there any suggestion how we can assist the children further? Some of them will get loans from government to study further. And if you are on a child grant, you automatically get a loan. There are no other criteria. It's a smooth transition to get a loan if a university has accepted you. And so we are worried about those children that are not, maybe not have the educational acumen to go to university. What happens to them to provide them with a sustainable livelihood? Thirdly, we know that many organizations pride themselves with food hampers, with soup kitchens, but what percentage of their income should they reserve for programs like you have and which Ashraful Aid is doing? Because just handing out food hampers and soup kitchens is maybe good for the immediate relief, but shouldn't there be a principle, and maybe you can suggest what percentage should go for the type of programs that you have initiated and also Ashraful Aid has started? Shukran.
Should I answer? I will forget. The first thing is, luckily in Pakistan, we have plenty of people who are skilled or semi-skilled. There are many skill imparting institutions. So this is not a big challenge, number one. Number two, there are some professions or some, business opportunities or projects which don't need formal training. Agriculture, livestock, and things like that. Let me say that there are, at the grassroots level, there are two ways to eliminate poverty. Number one, give somebody skill. Number two, give somebody capital. For example, if you give him a skill of electrician, plumber, woodwork, mason, he will earn. And then second thing, give him money. So if you give a training of being an electrician and support him with some financial money, then credit, so he will be able to utilize his skill. So once we conceive poverty alleviation from the society at the grassroots level, we should focus on skill building and provision of financial services. This is the number one. Number two, as you mentioned, what to do with those young people who are not able to go to university. To give them skill. Skill, skill, skill. IT, for example, is the most low-hanging fruit. Pakistan, during last year, earned around 5 billion US dollars from the exports of IT-related goods and services. And we have the potential of earning $100 billion in a year. All our loans will be paid. So the same is here in South Africa, in Africa, in other countries. If you start giving skills to the 18 years old girl and boy in search engine optimization, in artificial intelligence, in marketing related to computer science, that is extremely workable. And there are many other nursing skills, paramedics skills, then hospitality management skills, then Middle East is full of people coming from Philippines and Far Eastern countries, nurses. The women are qualified professionals who take care of elderly. So why can't you start a program which gives training to 100,000 girls as good nurses? It just needs compassion and some hard work. So paramedics, hospitality business and tourism business is the biggest employer in the world. So all these people who can't go to the university, please give them an opportunity in computer, in IT, then in hospitality management, then in health management, then in tourism. There are many other conventional ways. Tell them how to be good farmer. Tell them how to, raise good poultry. Tell them how to be a good, expert in livestock. So the indigenous things and then the international. We can't take every student, even in the United States, every student doesn't go to university. So, thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. We've actually run out of time, so I apologize to the rest of the group that have had questions, and we urge you to engage with the panelists in the breakout session, which we are going to have shortly. I just want to thank the panelists.
Let me thank again Ashraful Aid and the brilliant opportunity provided to us and all the delegates coming from across the world. And we invite you to come to Pakistan. We are willing to work with you. We are willing to open interest-free loan branch in collaboration with Ashraful Aid in Malawi, in Uganda, in Mozambique, wherever you like. And as my friend Mushtaq Sab said, and earlier it was said that it is all participation and collaboration. So we will be very happy to collaborate with Ashraful Aid and all other organizations which we are being represented. Our friend from Palestine who was telling that he has started something in Pakistan. So together we can build a better society, and we are here to offer our assistance. Thank you very much, Honorable Deputy Minister and others.
Thank you, Doctor, and thank you to the panelists.